folks, and welcome to the VCT Game Changers Academy presented to you by Verizon and AIM Labs. I am for today, Cute Noob, and I am here with the dual power couple, Gompers and Spicy. How are you guys doing?
Well, I'll start. I'm doing pretty good. I'm just, I'm excited. I mean, I've been waiting a while for the, NA Game Changers to start and VCT and whatever. So, now that it's starting up, I'm getting in the Valorant mood. Just want to, grind out some VODs, watch some teams play.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat for sure. I am really excited to, get things going with the first Game Changers Academy event of 2022. And I think we have a really great lineup going into things as well. And I know that, you have a lot of information to take us through, Cute Noob, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so for all of you guys just joining us today, this is the VCT Game Changers Academy. So teams could come together and participate in this. Today we have what is called groups. So that means that we have 4 teams into 4 different groups. Actually, only 6 teams. 16 teams were admitted into this tournament. So there's about 4 teams into each, group. So we have Group A, which is Polaris, a team that actually was the winner of the VCT Game Changers, last VCT Game Changers. We have Final Form, we have NMG CELEST, BEKNZ. On Group B, we have 1994 Toyota Supra, Dark Monkeys, Team Mystic Venus, Serendipity. And then on Group C, we have Def Not SM, Unbind Crouch, EQ Scarlet, W Way Warriors. And then on Group D, we have Vengeance, Aim Punch, Elysium, and Team Kittens. I feel like we know some of these teams, right, ladies?
Yes.
Yeah, we definitely do. Some familiar faces throughout Game Changers Academy. I know you mentioned Polaris won the previous one, but Team Vengeance also won the Game Changers Academy done in October back in 2021. So also another team to look out for. Even though they are a little bit more puggy, they've definitely shown that they can strut their stuff.
Absolutely. So today we have what is a best of 1 round robin style for all these fellow teams. They're going to play each other once in their groups, and then whoever has the best score out of that will actually make it into tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's going to be the top 8 and the semifinals, which are going to be best of 3, and that's going to be starting at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then following that will be Sunday, and that is going to be the finals. That is the best of the best. It's going to be the team that is going to be winning first place, which is $1,000, and second place will be taking that $500 home. I'm so excited because there's so much talent in here, and I can't wait for you guys to take it through. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about Galorants for some of you guys that are new. If you do not know about Galorants, it is a community that invites females and non-binary folks to join us into getting more involved into esports. This could be production, this could be casting, as well as these 2 lovely ladies hosting, maybe even producing. Shout out to our producer, Annie, as well as our observer, Casey, doing lots of work in the background. So if you want to join, just make sure you do !Galorants in the channel. And now we get into the saucy part, ladies. We're going to talk about the teams we will be seeing coming up first. We have NMG CELEST versus BEKNZ. What do we know about these teams, Gompers?
I know that actually, I know BEKNZ for a fact is actually, they had an original roster back for when Galorants had the Iron to I believe it was Iron to Gold tourneys. Mm-hmm. I forgot what that was called. Ash might know the name of it, but it was they had a BEKNZ team for that separately before, I believe, and then they actually kind of transitioned to having another roster called BEKNZ Plus, which is what we're going to be seeing here, which is basically a sum up of Plat Plus ladies that just go into this roster after they reach that certain point, which I'm actually excited to see because I played with some of these girls before back when I was, playing in those tourneys, Iron to Gold. So, I'm just excited to, get some flashbacks or something going.
You Spicy, do you have any information for us coming out here?
Well, Gompers took us through BEKNZ, so I can take us through NMG CELEST. NMG CELEST is actually a more new team that has just formed underneath the NMG organization. Their coach is actually a personal friend of mine, Cozy, shout out to them. He's great, but they made their debut for this new roster at the most recent Sakura Cup, which was a couple weeks ago, and they didn't make it out of groups at that point, but they had only been together for about a week or two at that point, and you know, I have a general idea of what we could see coming out as far as team compositions. I know that May is the dedicated Jet main and Opper for NMG. You have GG, who usually plays the Sentinel role, the IGL for NMG CELEST as well. Fad, usually on that Sova pick. Aerie, actually, we've seen Aerie on a few teams throughout GCA. She used to main Omen and Jet a lot. We actually saw her playing Jet Duelist a few times back in December as well as in October. But in the NMG roster, actually seeing her going back to her controller roots, picking up that Astra role for her team. And from what I've heard from her, she's absolutely loving it. And then Clutch being the last gal to finish up the roster here, being that Sky/Flex player for NMG CELEST. So a lot of actually very familiar names that we've seen throughout GCA on a variety of PUG teams. So it's interesting to see them now coming together underneath an org, and I'm excited to see what they can do, especially after learning from their mistakes at Sakura Cup.
Oh, that is true. A lot of practice is key to performing well. A little bit of notes that I took on my side is the rank difference between these two teams. Now, before I get right into that, let's talk about the map that we're going to be seeing, and that is going to be Icebox. How do we feel about Icebox, and do we know if either of these teams have played on this map before and maybe some previous score? Let's start off with you, Gompers.
Oh, me. Okay. So Icebox, if we know, are you talking about if we know what, previous past things, what we might know about the team? I'm not necessarily sure. I think it all also kind of just depends on the play style of the teams. But it's a mystery for sure. I mean, you'd have to figure out as you watch.
What about?
I would say for Icebox in particular, I can give a little bit of background for NMG CELEST. I just pulled up their VLR really quickly here. So they did play Icebox once during Sakura. Did not win out on that map. It was just, the first time that they had played it in a tournament. But it looked like that their attacking side was a lot stronger than their defensive side. So I'm interested to see if they have their defensive strategies a little bit more set, fix the holes that were in their defense back at Sakura Cup. And then I can see if I can pull up any info about BEKNZ here real quick for you since you were asking. And it looks like recently, at least within this previous season, we don't have any statistics for BEKNZ on Icebox here yet. So it could be a toss-up either way, but like you did mention, Cute Noob, there is that rank differential between these teams where NMG CELEST definitely has the upper hand if you're just looking at competitive rank versus BEKNZ, which is more of a Plat Diamond team.
Alrighty, well, yeah, the rank differences are here, but what is ready is the lobby. So take it over, Gompers and Ash. We are so excited to see what saucy plays we have coming up.
All right, let's get it going. I'm excited for this one.
I am excited. I'm interested to see the new BEKNZ roster lineup here, because we do know that recently two of their players, Lele and Asian Daddy, were recently left the roster. So we have Windy and Random Philo coming in instead. So I'm interested to see how these two players actually work in. And as we get things going, I mean, we're already seeing NMG locking in on these agent compositions here. You've got that Viper pick, the classic Jet as well. We're seeing Clutch actually coming out with the Reyna. So we're going to see a double duelist this time around with Sova being the only initiator. And as far as Sentinels go, it looks like it's going to be Sage on both sides instead of seeing a more information-heavy composition.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, we're seeing a kind of like almost a mirror composition. It is a mirror composition. I don't know why I'm saying almost. It's completely the same. But I mean, I guess now it's more so who can use this composition to the best of their ability per se. I'm liking the matching calling cards here. I love how you have the cards on one side and then you have the Sovas on the other. It's really cute.
Absolutely, you got to keep that that team synergy, the team vibes high for sure. But, you know, going into this, I'm actually having weird audio issues with my game. If you don't mind just covering me for a second there, Gompers.
All right. I'm so sorry. I completely brain farted for a second, but I mean, we're getting into it. It's pretty normal. I mean, right now it's just trying to figure out what's going on, but I think what's interesting is like the two duelists setting themselves up for A and having, you know, that Viper and that Sage watch that mid with really having to heavily rely on those two duelists to kind of control that A site. Maybe they're going to play for the retake here.
Yeah, looks like it is going to be an A-heavy default, like you mentioned here, Gompers. Looking to get some early information, but overall, still a slower round just to get things started here. Clutch, kind of ready for Windy to overpeak. May is going to hear that Owl drone coming out as well. It's going to be shot out, giving a little bit of information, though, over to the side of BEKNZ.
Yeah, but you can see BEKNZ is trying to make their way onto site. There's not a lot you can do here. Windy has to get the entry, trying to go in, although getting outgunned by Clutch, and a ton of the players of NMG are actually doing really well here, taking these picks down. It's Clutch taking 2, hungry for the 3rd, but Puro having the Sheriff here, that's a gun advantage. Are they able to take it though? That's health down, but it's gonna be Clutch clutching it up with only a little bit of health left.
Well, a nice pistol round to start on the side of NMG there. And, you know, now going to be able to force up. Going to see some Spectres and Bulldogs here on out just to start things off. I wouldn't be too surprised if we do see May just sticking with the Sheriff. Just trying to get that 3rd round operator online as well. And it looks like it's going to be another lean towards the A site coming out here from BEKNZ Passion. They're going to be ready with this Poison Cloud lineup just to cover the back of A site to stop that lower player from peeking, but it actually doesn't look like it's going to come out right away.
Only having classics here, that's a very big disadvantage that BEKNZ has to play off of. They're trying to entry their way onto the site as fast as they can, trying to take those close entry picks, but it's gonna be May taking the pick off instead. Clutch, though, getting completely ambushed by the side of BEKNZ, and they're moving in as a group. But the thing is that you can just spray it down with just a Spectre and be able to win those rounds. So it's extremely unfortunate for the position BEKNZ is in, but they could possibly win this. It's still a 3v4 here. All they have to do is be able to take the site and not allow that control to, you know, dwindle, but it's going to be GG with a 3K just running it in as a Sage. Sage wall deeming worthy, you know, it did a lot, but and ended up just being taken down, so BEKNZ really didn't have that advantage.
I really like how NMG played the retake there. Instead of getting greedy, you might see some teams, you know, considering the fact that they do have the upper hand with their economy and their weapon buy, might just try and stick things out. But I do like that NMG backed off there, playing the retake together instead of, you know, risking putting another gun into the hands of BEKNZ. And now it looks like we're going to see more of a default coming out on the side of BEKNZ, looking to get some mid control, lean towards B this time around.
Oh, and you see that Viper smoke. It's going to direct some attention towards mid, but no intention needed. It's going to be one player taken down, but Aries going to be able to get a 2K with just the Bulldog. Oh my goodness, you can hear the cries of NMG right now as they get taken down. I mean, not NMG, my apologies, of BEKNZ as they get taken down, but it's Passion left by themselves. The utility's still there, still having that snake bite, still having that wall, although a 3v1, all Passion can do is try to hope that they can at least get a couple here, let the numbers dwindle, but it's just going to be a takeout, May, with only a Sheriff, not needing that Vandal in a 3rd round 1 for NMG.
Ooh, that was a really nice round for NMG. Tough for BEKNZ, though, because they will be forced onto a save for this upcoming round, which is, I mean, ideally, if you've lost rounds 1 and 2, the 3rd one is the one that you like to convert in your favor, but now BEKNZ will be stuck in this ping-pong, kind of back and forth economy here, Gompers, where they will be stuck between these buys and saves. And no ultimates online quite yet, but it would be nice to see that alt orb investment going into Puro, trying to get that Blade Storm online, which could be a saving grace for the 4th round.
I mean, most definitely, but there's this Viper retake wall. As soon as they try to get that spike down, it's not going to matter. The retake's going to come in strong from NMG. BEKNZ backing themselves off, being a little bit afraid of that Viper util, not knowing that there's 2 people surrounding themselves down mid for NMG.
Ooh. I like how BEKNZ is actually playing far back here. I mean, we haven't seen it too much, considering the fact that we've only gone through 3 rounds. But, you know, when you are on an eco, sometimes those playing the anti-eco can get a little bit aggressive. So I do like to see BEKNZ playing farther back, waiting. But Fad might just get caught out here. Is going to fall to their double, and now it is a 4v5.
Ooh, and Gigi's gonna show that she's not just the Sage that's gonna stand back. It's gonna be an attacker Sage on the defense, gonna peek those aggressive angles and take them out one by one. The timing there was perfect, but is Aerie gonna be able to time this? 2 players. They might swing this. Wendy's trying to get the pick. It's not going to be deemed worthy, and it's gonna be random Philo being taken down by Aerie with a 3K to their name.
4-0 now. Not the best round necessarily for an eco, but not bad considering the fact that they did manage to get at least 1 gun out of the hands of NMG, and now a timeout is going to be called on the side of BEKNZ Plus, and it is going to be their bye round. All things considered, we aren't likely going to see a force being able to happen in the 6th round if BEKNZ cannot secure this one for themselves. However, I mean, I would like to see maybe an alt orb investment going into random Philo here, considering that that Sage Resurrection is only 2 ways away, 2 alt points, I should say, away from being up and available. But we are also going to see 2 ultimates online on the side of NMG, a resurrection of their own, and we could possibly see an early Vipers pick coming out from Aerie here, but she also may elect to save it for the retake situation. But it's tough. I would like to see BEKNZ maybe slowing down their pacing a little bit, playing more of a default, trying to get an early pick, get some information for themselves as well before making a move in. Not that they weren't playing slowly before, but it was less of a standard default, more of a heavy default leaning towards either the A site or the B site.
I mean, we're going to see what they're going to change up here. They had a very aggressive approach before for BEKNZ, but it seems like now they're kind of going for this default type of positioning, waiting for people to kind of push up, but it's going to be Puro pushing up first, and that's going to be an aggressive take that's going to get them punished. All they can do now, they lost their main duelist on the side of BEKNZ, so that's going to be pretty rough. Reyna's still there, but Jet being one of those main people that you want to have create that space. I'm gonna push up coming out. Wendy being able to take 1. That's equal grounds here. May taking not another. Beth is gonna be able to win that fight. There's a Hunter's Fury left on the side of BEKNZ, although they're gonna take this aggression. Fad being taken out, knowing that they were sitting within that corner. It's just Gigi with the resurrection, unable to be used. Majority of the players from NMG lost onto the site.
That was a nice changing of pace that we saw coming out, you know, getting a bit more information. And now that resurrection is going to come out on the side of BEKNZ. Aerie left in a 4v1 here, Gompers. All the Viper's utility still online.
Oh, and a nasty one-tap from Aerie. If they can keep hitting those shots, they might be able to get it, but I don't think it's plausible. They don't know that somebody's up next, and it's Passion holding a cheeky angle, being able to take out 1. It's the first round going over to BEKNZ here.
4-1 now, and that was the round BEKNZ needed to win to be able to secure their economy. The nice resurrection coming out also allows that cushion to kind of build up on the side of BEKNZ here. And now 2 ultimates available. You have Beth, who has that Hunter's Fury online, as well as Windy with the Empress as well. And honestly, Beth with that Hunter's Fury, having Windy pop that Empress early, an entry onto site with Puro with that Jet Dash, you know, the Hunter's Fury can do a lot to cause discord on site, make the entry a little easier. But as I say that, May gonna be taking out her double there, leaving Windy the only duelist left on the side of BEKNZ to make an opening onto this site.
A lot of players. It's the same default that they're doing again. It worked out the first time. You notice that after the pause, they realized what they had to fix. Right now, they're trying to fix it. Although Aries a little bit suspicious. They see some players. They don't know Random Philo might just swing out this corner. It's going to be a swing out due to that snake bite. The site going to have to play for this retake here.
Ooh, Spike is going to be initiated here by Random. Going to be able to back off after putting that barrier orb up for the extra security. Fad just clearing out mid in case of a late lurk on the side of BEKNZ, but all the information BEKNZ needs right now has been given by that owl drone, knowing that all four are playing either B main or through yellow.
Windy knows, but not knowing the blind is going to come through. Able to take it down, they're going to wide swing regardless. Could have been a 2K, but Clutch is going to clutch it up there. Although trying to get another, it's going to be the teamwork that's going to reign supreme. Random Philo trying to get some, having to take that heal down in their own hands, and it's going to be a run through, trying to stop that defusal. Although Fad is going to know what's going on, going to take those two, take that 5th round.
Ooh, that's a really nice retake coming out from the side of NMG. And now for Ultimates Online, it's going to look like a daunting round here for round 7 for BEKNZ to be able to, you know, convert the round into their favor. They do have that Viper's Pit still online in Passion's hands, though, in the case that BEKNZ is able to get the plant down onto site. But considering all of the ultimates available on the side of NMG, like I mentioned previously, it will be a tough one. Look at this aggression that Mei is taking.
Went through the smoke as well?
Yeah.
How do you even like, what do you do in that, you know, that scenario? You don't even know what's going on. Better yet, the other person didn't know what's going on. They're gonna get that pick regardless. Right there, the aggression's coming through.
They were tagged up by the Sova utility, so there's nothing too surprising there. And now Fad taking out that Hunter's Fury, delaying the plant, but it will go down anyways, and the Viper's Pit will be surrounding the A site.
Being tagged there, although it's not gonna be any of importance. They couldn't shoot that down, but they did get that information as to where some of the players are surrounding themselves here for NMG. They're gonna have to go through this Viper's Pit, although the wall is blocking them off from getting any closer onto the site. GG knows there's somebody nest. Although they're not going to peek, they're going to play it a little bit safe here, playing for the spike on the side of BEKNZ. The resurrection comes through, although Philo's not able to get one. It's going to be Windy and Passion fighting on the sites.
Oh, the timing.
1v2 right here. Windy's trying to clutch it up. It's going to be one, and it's going to be another. No, the reload comes through, but the classic, no, being able to clutch up just in time.
I really thought that Ari got the defuse off right as Windy was pulling out the classic there. What a round for BEKNZ. Now, the second round on the board for them, allowing that economy just to be salvaged going into round 8 here. Operator still in Mei's hands, but it's going to be a glass cannon this time around. If possible, it would be nice to see Ari try and aggress up B-Long here in the case that no information is gathered on the side of BEKNZ, knowing that maybe it's clear to get that alt orb, to get that Viper's Pit, you know, just 1 point closer to being online. And as I say that, it's going to be a slow default coming out from the side of BEKNZ this time around, changing up that pacing once again, as a slow default has been what's been working out for them since that tactical pause.
Mei's been doing incredibly well with the operator. I'm liking it, but I don't know if the rain on the side of BEKNZ is gonna, Random Philo's, Windy, my apologies, is gonna know that, you know, Mei is there. Although they can hear the updrafts, not the up, they can hear everything going on basically. But the drone is gonna come through, try to gather some information so the peak doesn't have to. Although they know they don't see anybody on the site just yet. Oh, and they hid
just
very
missed.
well there. Oh, and this is scary. Everybody's scattering. They weren't gonna go B, trying to get the flank in. Passion's gonna be taken out, and Pearl whiffing a couple shots, able to get it though. That's gonna be 2. Mei taking down the operator. That's gonna be very nice for BEKNZ. It's gonna play really well. Although Ari is not gonna be paying attention. This is Pearl's round. They need another to get that 4K down. They're feeling greedy for it, but GG is not feeling confident.
Oh, that angle. Just seeing the head of the player on site here in GG. Not gonna have enough. I'm actually surprised GG is going to try and get a pick off. However, falling to Windy, allowing BEKNZ to get their third round on the board. I was expecting actually a save to come out on the side of GG, to be honest here, Gompers, considering the ultimate, or not the ultimate, the credential, the credit economy, the gun economy of NMG right now. That Vandal would have been the only Vandal online for NMG, and unfortunately GG did end up losing it at the end of this round. However, if Aerie is able to get this alt orb B long, however, it's not gonna look like it's gonna be possible considering that it is a B heavy hit this time around, but they would have been capable of getting the Viper's Pit.
There's a truck that just drove by my house. Made the loudest beep. I wish you guys had heard it, but don't know why I'm saying that, but I'm saying it to bring you into the storyline, I guess you could say. Because maybe, you know, maybe we're gonna need, you know, some ambulance here for the side of NMG. I mean, who knows? It seems like BEKNZ really finding their way. Passion's kind of knowing that the flank is coming through. That's two, and it works out very well. Philo right behind, able to get one. Just the teamwork that's been happening here for BEKNZ has been insane and immense. You can tell that the moment that timeout happened, they figured out what they had to do. They just play together, and they win. Now it's just Fad. I mean, Fad does have the recon bolt here. They could get some information, but it's the whole crew. The whole crew.
The whole gang's just watching.
it's like that one meme on TikTok you see where it's like, oh, we'll do this together. The power of friendship. And then, you know, you peek and then you see 15 people.
Yeah, it do be like that. It do be like that sometimes. But like you said, BEKNZ really cleaned up their post plant in that particular round. I mean, we saw the trades happening, the synergy coming out from BEKNZ. They're peeking with each other, swinging off of each other, getting those trades off. It was, however, an eco round for NMG, just to keep that in mind. So that isn't too surprising considering the fact that BEKNZ was able to put that in their favor. And now that Viper's Pit is going to finally come out from Aerie, covering up B long here, and aggression mid is going to be taken by Clutch, who's going to take down Passion.
Yeah, they knew the constant defaults and waiting, you know, for a push up was working very well. Now they're going to try to pressure back. They know that they can win these fights. Now it's just Clutch not knowing that there's going to be a double peek here, although BEKNZ having the upper hand. It's Clutch and Fad.
It's nice that we see that NMG's not getting too greedy there in mid, though, right? I also quite... Oh, look at this flank actually coming up from Aerie. Nothing's gonna come from it this time around. Yeah, but I just wanted to mention, you know, having that Viper's Pit covering up B main here, looks like we are gonna go for the resurrection on the side of BEKNZ, but...
The resurrection was good, although one down regardless. I really like the pressure that was made. I mean, unfortunately, you had Aerie having to back out after they had lurked because there wasn't really any pressure being made at that moment in time, and they already knew the location, so they had their attention set on, you know, on B already. The only question is what's going to happen now? This Viper's Pit is down. BEKNZ isn't going to be going towards A, and right there it's Aerie. They're just trying to take her down, take that Viper's Pit with them. 10 seconds left. They have to be able to get onto the site, but it's going to be impossible. Clutch is waiting for the plant to happen. It's going to be Clutch hiding in a cheeky corner. The spike is there. 2 seconds left on the clock. Philo not being able to frag out here in time.
You know, even though BEKNZ wasn't able to convert that round into their favor, I do admire the fact that it went from a 2v5 down to a 2v1 at the end there. BEKNZ still able to get 3 guns out of the hands of NMG, considering it's tough also. You know, you had that Viper's Pit taking up all of that B main control. I like the wall that Aerie threw, which is what I was trying to touch on earlier on in the round, to help those mid players get that control, and it just allowed all of NMG to kind of push up while then playing back on A, playing that retake on A. But you know, when you have that Viper's Pit up in B main, you make the assumption that A is probably stacked up. So a really great map control coming out from NMG, and now it's going to be an A heavy blitz for BEKNZ here.
Wendy's getting ready, putting that blind through. They're gonna peek a little bit late. That's gonna lead to a punishment. Clutch ready, May ready. Everybody on the side of NMG ready. And it's a 2v5 already as the blitz attack came. It ended just as fast. Right there, May holding the angle. Beth not knowing. Just gonna run right through. Although the spike is in the hands of NMG right now, it's gonna be almost impossible. Unless Beth can be able to get this pick off of Clutch. That's one. Another one is needed. Passion tries to get the flank around. They know. They hear. They're preparing themselves for the peek around. That's going to be one. If Passion can continue to get another, it's going to be playing out very, very well, although May holding the angle with the operator. This is looking pretty scary for Passion. Yep, it's just going to be a takedown.
7-4 now. Still, I mean, considering the defensive hold that NMG has, the map control that they're capable of taking for themselves, BEKNZ also being the lower rank seeding here, more, you know, being plat diamond players facing up against Immortals, it's really not a bad half that we're coming out with from BEKNZ. And Puro actually going to be holding an op in their hands for the first time around on the attacking side. I'm interested to see what work Puro is going to be able to do with this. Going to be looking for a pick from a belt to start things off, and May moving down towards mid once again with the operator, looking for something early.
Get out of my way.
I really like how Fat actually helps May push up in mid there with the owl drone.
You can see that, you know, the operator bias coming out from Puro. I like the fact that, you know, that they're holding that mid control, although now it's going to be up to Windy to get this aggression onto site. No Jet to kind of put that smoke through, add some of that pressure down, but it's going to be Philo adding that pressure regardless. Doesn't really matter who's adding the pressure as long as you get it through. But May only having the operator here is going to have to try to quick scope, maybe get that spray down. It's going to be Gigi holding a nice angle. Unfortunately, Philo not prepared, and the operator from Puro. It's going to be very, very effective here. This retake has to come through. All you can do is hope you can get that defusal, but everybody's already playing for the spike. They're not going to play for the picks here. It's going to be Windy being able to take out one. Puro right behind, helping out with the assist, but all they have is the off now. The Blade Storm coming through. All they can do is try to hit the shots, but it's not going to hit. It's going to be NMG taking this 8 round, 8-4. The half is done.
Ooh, the half is done, like you said, and we will be swapping sides. NMG going to be on the attack this time around. BEKNZ onto the defense. I'm interested to see how BEKNZ actually plays the defense, especially after seeing the way that NMG kind of likes to hold. I don't know. Clutch and May are very aggressive players also on attack from what we've seen in prior tournaments here at Gompers. So I'm curious to see if we are going to see more of like a default to slower pacing earlier round, just like BEKNZ came out with, or if we're going to see more so like blitz onto site coming out from NMG now, leaning towards the A site, where BEKNZ is actually electing to have a 3-stack towards A this time around, kind of leaving mid pretty open here, leaving Philo being the one alone to defend things, and that recon is gonna have to push Puro back off from that aggressive angle on pipes.
Puro's pushing up. They were not expecting it. Clutch did not expect an aggressive take from Puro. That's going to catch them off guard. They're going to be a little bit more cautious here getting onto site. They don't know if they're going to hold the cheeky corners. You can see Gigi's being a little bit more cautious, although Windy peeking out too aggressively. That's going to be a punishment. 2 players down. It's already a 4v3. Puro's waiting for the team. It's a very nice wait for the retake, as you can see. The flank was going to come through, but it seems like Passion's going to work their way around to help with this entry onto site. Philo still does have a wall here, though, Ash.
Yep, still got that wall. Aries still has that toxic screen as well, just delaying that retake for as long as possible. And now, will Philo check this corner once they push through?
I don't know. Gigi's there. They hear. Philo's not going to check. It's going to be the heal coming through, but it's not going to come out. Puro's still low health, able to get one, but it's not enough. 3 players left for this pistol, and NMG is going to win it all. Not all of it, but, you know, words... I can't speak today.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm picking up what
you're
you're putting
picking
down.
it up.
Now that's gonna allow NMG to buy up once again. So that's both pistol rounds now going into NMG's favor, allowing them to have that advantage going into round 2 both times. And Puro gonna go for that shorty buy, which is interesting considering the fact that we did see that early aggression coming out from Puro on that pistol round. So now gonna have to play more of a ratty style here. May gonna updraft, try and get that aggressive peek. Nobody's holding that headshot angle though.
Wendy's jumping, maybe to see if anybody is trying to get themselves onto belt here. Nobody's there. It's gonna be Clutch trying to push their way in, having this Guardian. It's gonna be way better than any other weapon you could possibly have there in that situation. Clutch is gonna win 2 for the team, maybe a possible 3rd, but there's 2 players watching those angles. Just the Bulldog watching another player. The shock darts coming through. The util here was what opened this pathway over to NMG to be able to get this entry in on the attack.
That, and also the gun difference. I mean, you can't deny it. There's always a gun difference going into the second round if you're not buying up. And especially that second frag that Clutch was able to secure for herself just through the toxic screen there. Definitely helped with that site take as well. And now we are going to see mostly a full buy coming out on the side of BEKNZ, but instead, Puro's actually going to be saving for a 4th round operator, as they didn't save for a 3rd round one, going with the Marshall this time around.
Puro might be able to get one here, although they're gonna take closer corners. May's gonna be able to get an aggressive angle here on Nest. The only thing you can do is try to avoid that recon bolt that came out from the Owl drone. Now the rotation's coming through.
Clutch has already walked all the way through kitchen.
Oh no, Beth isn't aware. That's gonna be one. Now they know where Clutch is, although Clutch is gonna retract themselves over to kitchen. It's gonna be Passion by themselves. Hearing Clutch up.
This is such a tough position for Passion to be in. Clutch might just miss her here. Oh.
It was not a miss, unfortunately. Oh, but is Clutch gonna miss these? It's 2 players. Oh, it's not the 1 tap, but it's gonna be a 1 tap for Puro. Worked out very well. The 1v3 here. 80 health, 9 shield. Maybe the 9 shield would do something. Although, you know, there's still a lot of util here for Puro to use. They could possibly use it. That's 1, but 19 health isn't something you want to be playing off of. The 1 taps have to connect. Fad right around the corner near Snowman, and it's gonna be a takeout. Fad is gonna be able to take out. I mean, having 27 health isn't necessarily, you know, the best case scenario in a 1v2 scenario.
No, I mean, on top of that, Puro was playing kitchen there, and on the retake, when the spike is planted in front of the default kind of positioning on B site, you're not really going to expect that aggression into CT's spawn, considering the fact that, you know, going for the defuse in that situation would mean that both of those players have to then push from CT wrap around. But I do want to commend Clutch for that lurk up into kitchen there. That definitely helped with the B site take. I mean, we did see 3 players invested onto A on the side of BEKNZ, but normally the Viper would be able to, you know, Passion would be able to stall out a little bit more on B with the snake bites, with that utility, just to make that push onto site a little bit more daunting. But considering the fact that Passion then had to worry about Clutch, who is coming up behind her, made it even that more difficult to, you know, focus that utility onto site, delaying that plant, because she had to look over on the chip on her shoulder as well. And now we are going to see NMG 1 away from match point here. It's going to be an eco round as well on the side of BEKNZ, which means BEKNZ, if they're not able to pull off a crazy thrifty here with Puro's Blade Storm in hand as well, it's going to be a really tough crawl back to tie it up for overtime.
I mean, last time they had a tech pause, they ended up figuring out what they had to fix. So, you know, maybe the coach kind of gave them some of that insight, like, hey, you're doing this wrong. And, you know, hopefully they fixed it. It seems like here they're taking a little bit more of an aggressive approach. Beth is going to try to move themselves out, but Puro's holding this angle here with the Marshall, not knowing that the aggression's gonna come through as fast as it did. Now it's gonna be Clutch pulling out the Empress. Windy's sitting in a corner. It's gonna be a very sad death for Windy. Windy! They have to be able to get out. The heal came through, but it's Windy with only a sheriff left. They're gonna be taken out by May. May understands where they are. It's clutch with the 3K of flawless from NMG.
Yeah, NMG ran with their advantage there, with that gun advantage, with the power advantage, and the player advantage in that situation. Now, at match point, we're going to see Puro pulling out that operator. Still has the Blade Storm in hand in case they get stuck in a sticky situation. I would like to see, you know, if it ends up being more of an A heavy / default lean for the side of NMG. If BEKNZ is able to get that read off, I would like to see Passion try and aggress to get an alt orb for themselves, but actually moving away from the B site, looks like BEKNZ has moved Passion over towards A for this hold, and it's just going to be a general default all around, but no information is being sought out mid from either team.
You know, and I feel like I've been seeing a lot of constant A take from NMG. They know that this is an easy site for them, you know, but it does seem like they're gonna fake here. They know that they've constantly been going A, that iteration is there, and it's into the minds of BEKNZ. You can see that there's a lot of players surrounding themselves there.
NMG did well with using that conditioning for BEKNZ to expect this aggressive A hit and having the spike just lean towards B, letting May kind of lurk up, clear things out as Aerie kind of waits for that call to push onto site and get the spike down. All of BEKNZ has just been baited over towards the A site. Now it's going to be a 5v5 retake. Fad with this flank.
Oh, Philo doesn't know. This is great. The trigger discipline, although Philo gathered, you know, they know now, but they're not going to check the corner. That's unfortunate. You don't really, you don't expect people to be hiding there. It's Aerie by themselves. The 3K coming through, and it worked out entirely well for NMG. Oh, and it's the corners that have to be checked. It worked out so well for NMG in the sense of attack. They were definitely struggling on the defense, you know, maybe just a little bit. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it was a valiant effort from BEKNZ.
Absolutely. GG's to both NMG CELEST and BEKNZ NMG taking that map, that best of one matchup. The first one in the group stages home 13-4 on Icebox. And I mean, NMG looked really good there. I like how they saved that conditioning that they did on the attacking side up until that very last round. Almost to just guarantee that they could secure the 13th round for themselves, waiting until they got to match point to pull that fake out of their back pocket to steal away that map from BEKNZ. And, you know, I mean, ultimately, we aren't too surprised by these results. However, BEKNZ did put up a decent fight, especially on the attacking half for them. The first half of that matchup, Gompers, they were able to adjust their attacking style. They changed it up when, you know, they were using more of that slow-paced default. Rounds were definitely going in their favor. However, on the defensive side, NMG was just a powerhouse, kind of being able to power everything through. On top of that, this was also NMG's map pick, so we can't be too surprised.
I do think, though, BEKNZ did a great job at holding on, and, you know, it's not an easy thing to be able to adapt to play styles. I mean, you have to be able to figure out the problem and try to find a solution that fits best for your team. And I honestly think BEKNZ did a really great job at that when they were on that attacking side.
Absolutely. And, you know, we are going to go into a second map, but, you know, for the best of ones for every group, the next matchup that we will be seeing today, I believe, is going to be, I'm just pulling up the info really quick. And the second matchup is going to be Def Not SRN versus W Key Warriors. But before we get to that, we're going to throw to a quick break, and Gompers and I will catch you in a few, where Cute Noob will be joining us back on the desk.
Be shooting at me now, I know it will end up in anger. I don't think we grew up, we just became older.